Háblame de ti, cuéntame de tu vida. Sabes tú muy bien que yo estoy convencida.
Hi, welcome to It Starts at the Heart, Main Plaza Conservancy's way of keeping you informed of what's happening on Main Plaza, the heart of the city, also known as the People's Plaza. My guests today are from City of San Antonio Animal Care Services, and I have several friends. I have Claudia, who works with the Animal Care Services, and Josie, they're joining us, along with Taffy the dog, and Tempe, our active little kitten here, who is just an example of what you can find on historic Main Plaza. Once a month, they come down and we give the opportunity for people to interact with the pets on the plaza. You can take and walk a dog, you can cuddle with a kitty, and this little kitty's pretty cuddly today. We wanted to let you know that this goes on during lunchtime, so we have an invite for you to come down to Main Plaza and be a part of lunchtime, where it just got positively perfect. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So good to have you here. Claudia?
Yes.
Yes. Tell us, tell everybody about what's going on, where these pets come from, what you do, the partnership that you have with Main Plaza Conservancy. Just fill them in and let them know what they can do to be a part of to get a furry little friend.
So Josie and I work at Animal Care Services. We're education coordinators. So part of our job is going out into the community and making sure everybody knows that we have adoptable pets, and also helping the pets be socialized. So Josie can talk a little bit more about how Plaza and the Plaza helps.
So part of our education and outreach, going out to the community for at least for the last 2 years, we've been working with Main Plaza and going at least once a month and taking some of our animals that we have either available for adoption or just talk about some of the programs that we have at ACS. And it has a lot of benefits. Not only does it benefit our animals that we bring so they can get socialized, and just a new enrichment, a new environment where they can interact, meet new people. Everybody has a different smell, and so they can kind of pick up on that, and it kind of gets them a little bit more out of their shell and ready for adoption when they are. Also, even for the people that come and visit or just stop by, we get a lot of tourists that are walking by that are coming to Main Plaza, and they kind of ask us why we are there. And a lot of them don't expect, to come visit San Antonio and spend, a few minutes to de-stress and interact with a kitten. Some people maybe don't have cats or never grew up around a cat, and so this is that opportunity for them to do that. Or, maybe they're here on business and they miss their dog, who they haven't seen for a few days. So just walking another dog for a couple of minutes also kind of gets them, just that homesickness that they probably have from their pet at home. They can kind of get to have that interaction.
What a great thought. I never thought of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. He is so friendly. Very active little thing. And where did Tempe, she is a very special kitten.
Yes, so Tempe comes back from when Harvey hit. So Animal Care Services went to Dickinson, Texas, which is south of Houston, and they were in need of transport for animals, and we had mid-space at the shelter for them.
This was from Hurricane Harvey?
Yes. So Animal Care Services took a transport team there, and while they were they're packing up and getting ready to come back to San Antonio, Tempe arrived at the police department. And she arrived being found just in one of the drains from the town. And she was abandoned by herself, cold. And she was just around a week old. And then she hands them over to our team to see if we would be interested in taking her, since they didn't have the staffing for a bottle baby. So thankfully we were able to take her, and we've been fostering her ever since. And now she's like
just this
2
little
months
wild
old.
kitten.
Yeah, very happy and happy girl.
Very nice. Now, how many animals are you still continuing to bring more from the effects of Hurricane Harvey over to San Antonio, or how many did you bring total?
We did during those couple weeks. So we had two things. We were able to transport animals out to different shelters up north, thanks to Humane Society of the United States. So thanks to them, we were able to transport a lot of animals and build new partnerships with different shelters. And using that space, we brought in different animal shelters, like from Bayou Animal Care Services, and also from Pleasanton. Yeah, from Pleasanton. We were able to clear their shelter and bring all those animals into our care. And then we also had our emergency clinic.
Yeah, so we have our own emergency shelter. So we were kind of the hub for South Texas if there's any type of disaster. So not only do we do emergency shelters for families, but even for their pets. And so we took in some of their pets while they were in their emergency shelter. We took care of their pets till they were able to find placement for their temporary homes if they were damaged during the storm. And so we took care of them while that happened.
Okay. Then what happens after they come here? Do they find their homes? Is there a way to find their owners back over in Houston?
If they did come through the animal shelter, we had a system to where their ID matched the pet's ID. And so once it was time for them to go back to the location where they came from, they would pick up their pet, and we took them home. They also took home kind of some thank you bags, and they were a lot of the stuff in it was donations that we got from not only from the support of our San Antonio residents, but also all over the United States that donated dog food, toys, blankets, things that we always need at the shelter. And so we got an influx of all of those items, and so they were able to go home with a few thank you carry bags, just in case. A lot of people lost a lot of stuff at their homes, and so I'm pretty sure they probably didn't have a lot of the resources they need to take care of their pets while they're getting back settled in.
And it's so unfortunate in the time of a crisis like that, you know, you're grabbing your kids, and sometimes the pets aren't easily close by to grab, and time is of the essence, and so you have to go. And I know that my little dog is a part of our family, and it's just like would be like leaving a kid behind. So I'm sure a lot of people were very, very stressed and very sad that they couldn't take their pets.
Yeah.
And it's a great service that you do to get them, to bring them into safety and feed them, and then send them back home with a little package. Thank you so much, because that is so important. These little furry friends are just so much a part of our life.
Yeah, definitely. The Emergency Operations Center did a very good job at announcing to families as they were evacuating to bring their pets. We did have space for them to take them in, and the last thing we wanted is for them to stay in the areas where the hurricane was hitting, just because now we would have to spend resources to go out and try to rescue them. So bringing them to our location, that way we can take care of them. We also arranged visitations while the families were in the shelters. They were able to visit their animals at our shelter, and that way they can still be able to interact with them, because it's stressful both on the pets and the families, you know, being away from home, being in a different environment that they don't know, and being able to, you know, spend a couple of moments with them. So it's kind of the same thing like Pets on the Plaza, you know, just being able to interact. Even if it's not your pet, you know, you still get to have that one-on-one relationship with them and just bond with them.
I love it. I go down and I walk a dog. I think it's great, and it's fun because the couple dogs that I've walked, they're just so loving. I mean, this one, I wanted to take her home really bad. You kind of fall in love with them almost instantly. And I was standing, people are always talking to me out on the plaza, and she stopped and she stood there, and slowly she was leaning against my leg. But just the companionship, it's incredible. So I do understand when people say that pets are therapeutic.
Yes, they
Yes. And so do you work with any groups, senior groups or anything where, you know, pets are go to them where they can pet them at all?
We sometimes arrange, part of our education division, we go out to, we've gone to a couple of rehab facilities and some senior centers where we'll take a couple of animals and just talk about the benefits, the wellness benefits of having a pet. Or even just interacting with one and how it can decrease your stress levels, and just being able to interact, building that bond, that companionship, especially elderly who don't have, you know, probably don't have that much family and don't have that opportunity or that time to spend with them. So we are able to bring a pet. We sometimes bring our dogs and cats, and we also have our ferret, Officer Frito Pie, who's an animal ambassador who we adopted, and he goes to the centers too. So it's kind of just a different, another different type of pet that we kind of like to involve in our programs, just to, that way it's a different animal that people can kind of be able to handle, and he still does the same function where he bonds with them and he's able to be handled, and they still have that same affection with him too.
I don't know if you can hear him through my microphone, but he is singing away. So this is a City of San Antonio initiative, right? This, you are involved with them that way. So I guess tell us a little bit more about the bringing them down to the plaza. I love the thought where you said that people who are visiting and they've left their pet behind can actually walk a pet. What do they have to go through or do if they fall in love, like I have several times, with one that they want to adopt or foster? Can you kind of walk us through some of those procedures?
Yes, so we don't do on-site adoptions just because of just the location where we're at, and we're not there that long. And we still do the same adoption process where we still want them to come to our campus, still spend some time interacting with whichever pet that they're interested in, and then begin the application. But that's all done at our campus with our adoption counselors. But a lot of people do come by and they are very interested, or sometimes we talk to them about our foster rescue program and how they can temporarily foster a pet, like Tempe, who is still too young to have his spay-neuter surgery. So that's why we also offer our foster program. And so whatever program that they are interested in, we give them that information and let them know about our campus and where they can go and either fill out an application or talk to another representative about that. Just because we're always a big attraction, and so there's so many people there downtown during our Pets in the Plaza, so we want to make sure that we're able to interact with everybody and make sure we get that information out. But any pet that we do take that is available for adoption, we do make sure that they have that information.
Great. Well, you have had a really good turnout with people. They look forward to the pets.
Yes.
I have them calling my office asking me when are we going to have the pets again. And during the summertime we kind of stop because it's so hot.
Yes.
And we're just picking up our winter and spring programs now. So you'll be out on Main Plaza every month, and I have it December 13th, January 10th, February 14th, March 14th, and April 11th. Now, February 14th, that's the time to bring your sweetheart down to the plaza and fall in love with a little puppy or kitten, and then they can go through the process to be able to make it a part of their family.
Definitely. Yeah, every time we do go down there, there's always somebody who's very interested. We've had a couple that have adopted, you know, that will go to our shelter either later on that day and say that they saw a dog or they walked a dog that they really want to interact with. And so we've had that opportunity where they have been adopted from just visiting downtown. But we do have a lot of COSA staff that just really want to know and are anxious and, you know, make sure that they have it on their calendar when we're going to be down there so they can stop by during lunch.
Great.
And so it's always a good break for them too, just to
Yeah.
kind of get out of the office and have kind of that little reward or incentive just to go hang out with a kitten or a dog.
Yes, that's great. So if people have questions, they want to contact you, what do they do? How do you have a website? Do you have email, phone number? Let everyone know how they can reach out and find you.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in contacting us, they can go to our website, which is saacs.net. They can find out a lot of information about all our programs, or they can visit us on Facebook as well at City of San Antonio Animal Care Services. And we're pretty active on their messenger. So if they just want to ask us through Facebook, they can as well, and we'll be there to answer.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Okay. So if someone finds a dog, if they see one, are you the ones that they call? Do they call Animal Care Services?
So
and
Animal
report it?
Care Services will be the ones that pick them up, but to get that service request, it's also going to be through 311.
311. Okay. So if there's a stray, if there's a dog that you can't reach or get to see if they have a collar or identification.
Any animal related, anything animal related, we'll go through 311 first, and then they'll be able to dispatch and prioritize for our officers.
Okay, great, great. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add to anything that's going on with your partnership with Main Plaza, or do you have other offices, and do you have other things that you are involved in doing?
One thing that we do also provide during our Pets in the Plaza is we do have a table with all our informational resources. So again, if anybody that's visiting that is a San Antonio resident, we always do, we're always open up for kind of a Q&A. You know, people always ask like, oh, my dog's really shy. You know, how do I get my dog to be able to be socialized like this? Or they have questions of like, oh, I'm interested in getting some vaccines for my pet. You know, do you have any clinics that you have to recommend? And so we have, San Antonio does provide some low-cost clinics that we work with, partnerships. So we do have flyers on that information, any of our free spay-neuter, low-cost spay-neuter that we offer, or any other services that we have. Recently, the city has changed a couple of our ordinances, our city laws, and so we have that information to kind of educate our city residents as they're coming along to visit our pets during Main Plaza. They can have that information, and if they have questions, then that's a good opportunity for us to kind of start that conversation and answer some of those questions for them.
Are some of those new ordinance or laws, is that anything that you can elaborate on now and inform us? Is it anything we need to know? Something drastic?
There's a few changes. One of them is our chaining.
Yes, so there are no more chains are banned. So we can't tether a dog outside with a chain anymore, regardless of the size or the weight. They're completely banned. That's going to be one of the biggest ones.
Is that within the city limits?
Yes.
Okay, and that's for anyone that owns a dog, they can't chain it?
Correct.
Love that. I
Yeah.
love it. That's good. That's good.
If you do have a neighbor or know someone that does chain their dog outside, you know, there's going to be an education part. So like Josie said, we're going to do our best to educate the community with open Q&As, participating in community events. So there's going to be a 6-month grace period. And during that time, if you want to make any reports, it still goes through 311. Okay. And they'll be able to, again, send that over to an animal care officer, and then the animal care officer will go inspect the house and then have that conversation with the citizen.
Wow. Okay, that's big. That is big news. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to bring that out.
Yes.
Now, what is the approved method of tying a dog up or tethering a dog when they're outside and not everyone can take their dog to work?
Yes. So we always encourage having the fence. If you don't have a fence or you have a jumper, then there are other tethering that you can use.
Kind of like a pulley system.
Yes. Okay. All right. I have one of those when I walk my dog. He likes to get ahead. So.
Yeah. But we will always encourage to bring your pets inside. So unless you can be outside supervising your pet at all times, then they should be inside. And if for whatever reason they can't be inside, then tethering will be option B.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of pulley systems that they can get at either feed stores or pet stores that they can look into. And we will start that during our education campaign on showing those kind of examples. That way people can kind of get an idea. Also part of that new change is changing the wording on the way the law is written in the books. And so it's explained on there that not only do they have to provide food and shelter, either if a dog is inside or outside, but also providing shelter, shade during while they're
Texas,
outside.
it's so important.
And so they do need to have some type of shade while they're outside. And that wasn't necessarily written in the laws, and so now it's officially put in there. So now it's something that people do have to consider when they do have their pets outside.
Well, educating is really a key here because everyone is kind of caught up in their old ways. They've always done it. Probably bigger dogs are known to be chained more than the smaller dogs. But so like the opportunities of being on Main Plaza, it allows you to help educate and let people know some of the law changes.
Yes.
And I suppose probably the importance of making sure that your pet has plenty of water at all times.
Yes.
Yes, just the basic, the basic responsibility and care that you need for a pet. Even, when we have families that are down in Main Plaza and they're walking their own dogs, sometimes they might have a collar that's too tight or they're not, restrained right. And so that also gives us an opportunity to kind of interact with them and let them know that there are other items that they can use if their pet's not restrained or has the wrong size of collar. And so that does give us that one-on-one time with them.
And harnesses kind of give a little bit more control than just the neck collar. Yes.
It could be, and it's also dependent on the pet and how used to they're walking. There are some dogs that are just fine, like Taff. She's so comfortable and used to walking, so she just needs a collar. But sometimes, like a larger dog or a dog that's really excited, might need a different type of harness just to get a little bit more handle in case they do like to run ahead, or if they might just be a little bit more powerful with the walker. So that's why they need a different harness. But there's different items I can use, and like I said, a lot of people stop by and they have those type of questions of, I really like to walk my dog, but I don't have the right harness. Where can I find one, or what's the best one that I can use? And so we can help and answer those kind of questions.
So good information. You're full of it, and the law, with the laws changing, that's so important. I know what it's like, and probably penalties are pretty stringent if you don't start complying with the new laws.
There's a couple of the laws that they all went in effect October 1st, and so some of them we're pushing a lot harder right now. But like I said, like Claudia said, we do have a 6-month grace period. So this is just the window of educating. So coming on shows, or even when we're doing our events, that's the time when we're letting people know. We have flyers that we are also creating that has that information. That we're posting on our social media, on our webpage. That way people have that information also, that they can read it.
All right. Well, good. Well, once again, tell us how, if we have any questions, where we call or what website or where we go to. What site again?
Any questions, they can, for any pet-related services, they can call 311. So always, if there's a loose dog or a dog trapped or anything related with a dog out in the community that needs help, they're going to call 311. And if you have any questions regarding the shelter or how you can help, you can visit our website at saacs.net or visit us on Facebook at City of San Antonio Animal Care Services, and we also have Instagram. So we're starting that too. So there's many ways to get social with us, and yeah.
All right. Get social with them and social with the pets, and welcome. And Taffy, we're so glad that you were able to join us today. You've been on the quiet side, but you look like you're a really good girl. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. It's very important that I keep people informed of wonderful things that are going on Main Plaza, and we're very excited to have you on the plaza, and we're exceptionally excited to have all our furry little friends be a part of our activities out there. So come to Main Plaza, the heart of the city, on each given day of the month. We've got the dates set up all the way through April, excuse me. Or you can check our website, mainplaza.org, or you can call 225-9800 and get any information you have. We thank you for joining us, and Viva Pets. Stay tuned. Join us again. Thank you very much from It Starts at the Heart.
You know, every year, this is our 5th annual Mariachi Corazón de San Antonio Festival. And every year for the last 4 years since this group was formed, it keeps getting more and more difficult. Because, you know, this is the last time at this event that this group is going to be this particular group. Because we're going to add people and we're going to lose people. It's a good loss though, because when we lose people at Mariachi Corazón, they go to college and or a university. And they go with a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, and they go with a really big scholarship, ranging from $1,000 to $5,000, depending on how many years they've been a part of this group. Lucky for me, this year, at least until February, we're going to add and not lose, because they have actually been selected to perform at the Texas Music Educators Association convention. That is the largest music educators convention in the world. They'll be featured with groups like the Texas All-State Choir, the Texas All-State Band and Orchestra. That's how good they are. You can't tell I'm proud of them, right? That's why they're called Mariachi Corazón de San Antonio, because they are, without a doubt, the heart of this city. They represent everything that is San Antonio. And how better to preserve culture and San Antonio heritage than with its youth and great mariachi tradition.
Corazón de San Antonio, unidos desde el alma, cantamos.